Join me in painting these lovely sailboats in watercolor. The reference image I used for this painting is given here. Since I don't have masking fluid, I'm using masking tape to preserve the whites of the sailboats. I have cut the tape into small triangles of different length and sizes based on the position of each boat. The sailboat closest to the viewer is slightly larger and taller than the others in the distance. Keeping this in mind helps to create a sense of depth in the painting. I converted this different sized masking tape into a small sketch for better understanding. If you would like to understand more about the depth and perspective in this painting, I have explained it in more detail towards the end of this video. After placing all the masking tape, I drew the horizon line just below the center of the paper. Then I gently wet the sky area with clean water. I'm using two mop brushes, one with pure cerulean blue and the other with a purplish tone which is a mix of cerulean blue and crimson lake. Using the purplish tone, I began painting the lower part of the sky near the horizon. Then with cerulean blue, I paint the top of the sky. As I move downward, the color naturally becomes lighter, creating a soft, gradual transition. As I reach near the horizon, the remaining cerulean blue on my brush gently blends with purplish tone, creating a smooth and seamless shift in color. After finishing the sky, I tilt the boat sideways to let any excess water flow and collect near the masking tape. I then blot it away with a waistcloth. Next, I'm using oil pastel to mark the reflections of the sail on the water. To do this, I make a few scribbles, starting with longer strokes near the base of the sail and gradually making them shorter as they come closer to the viewer. This tapering effect helps to capture how reflections appear on the surface of the water. I have added reflections only for 3 sailboats as they are closer and more prominent in this scene. Next, we are going to paint the sea. For that, first I'm wetting that area. Then I'm ready with 2 mop brushes and 1 round brush loaded with pigments. The first mop brush is loaded with cerulean blue and other with a mix of cobalt blue and Payne's grey. The round brush is loaded with burnt sienna. First, I'm using burnt sienna to paint the hull of the sailboat when the paper is wet. Then, using mop brush, which is loaded with cobalt blue and Payne's grey mix, I begin painting the water near the horizon. As my brush moved towards the middle of the sea, I switch to the mop brush with cerulean blue and I start painting from the bottom and move upward and blend it into the previous layer to create a soft, seamless transition. Next, using Payne's Gray, I add strong streaks in the foreground. They start off broader at the front and gradually becomes thinner as they move inward, giving a sense of gentle water movement across the sea. Once the paper is completely dry, I remove the masking tape we used to preserve the white of the sailboats. Now, I'm drawing a faint line using Payne's Gray down the middle of the sail to show the separation between the two cloth panels. For the shadow, I use a light value of Payne's Gray to softly paint one side, giving the sail a sense of realistic feel. I add Payne's Gray at the base of the sailboat and repeat all the same process for others as well. The distant sailboats are painted with a very light value. Finally, using Crimson Lake, I loosely scribble some text-like marks on the sails of the three boats that are closer to the viewer. And that's it, we have created a peaceful seascape. Now here is the part I mentioned earlier about how depth and perspective help to create a sense of distance in this painting. Here the sailboat 1 is the closest to the viewer, so it's the largest in height and width. Next we have sailboats 2A and 2B. They are placed a bit farther back, so they appear slightly smaller than the boat 1. Then comes 3A and 3B, both even smaller, helping to gradually create a nice sense of depth. Boat 5 is the farthest and it appears the smallest of all. You can see that boats 2C and 5 are more narrow because they are seen from a straight-on angle. Boat 2C is actually similar in length to sails 2A and 2B, but because it's viewed straight on, it looks more narrow. The other sailboats are tilted slightly to the side, which makes them appear a bit wider. These small variations in size and shape might seem subtle, but they play an important role in creating perspective and depth in the painting. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more watercolor painting content. See you in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye from Prema.